Ralph the Movie Maker recently released a video about Mr. Robot. And while he was talking about mental health, something hit me. Mr. Robot is surprisingly similar to Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, which just won 4 BAFTAs. It might seem strange to say. One of these is a video game about a woman on a spirit quest for her dead lover, and the other is a TV show about an anonymous-esque group trying to change the world. But I've decided to compare them in order to show how I believe both of these products come from the same line of intent. Spoilers incoming, by the way. First, I'm going to discuss where they differ. The obvious one would be the story and the setting, which I previously mentioned, but also in the style of direction. In 2 ways, these stories are polar opposites, and those are in the way they use the camera and the way they use space. Sam Esmail will use the camera to create space around the characters, not only to show how empty they feel, but how big the issues are compared to them. Which is why you'll usually get shots that have a lot of empty space during moments when a decision is being made or times of heightened emotion. Hellblade, on the other hand, uses a camera to create a sense of claustrophobia, sometimes making Senua's face take up the whole shot. Even during gameplay, Senua will take up a good portion of the screen. Mr. Robot often uses very cramped sets with a wide field of view to make everything seem closer together. Everything on screen somehow feels crowded and hectic, even when nothing is really going on. So many details flood every shot, whereas in Hellblade, there are wide, open sets that create a feeling of isolation and reflect Senua's emptiness. Even when you're indoors, things feel open and troublesome. Like every place has hidden depths and corners that we shouldn't be exploring. Really, what I'm saying is that Mr. Robot achieves with the camera what Hellblade does with its sets, and Hellblade achieves with its sets what Mr. Robot does with its camera. Now, the place these two really converge is on their depictions of mental health. The main characters both suffer from some kind of dissociative personality disorder, and both projects present this in a different way. Where they differ is in how this manifests on both of them. In Mr. Robot, Elliot hallucinates and even sometimes takes on the persona of a somewhat twisted version of his dead father, who tries to manipulate Elliot and those around him to do what he wants, whereas Senua has a multitude of mysterious voices in her head that mostly try to hinder her progress. Other than that, they tend to veer in similar directions stylistically, with the protagonists both talking to the camera and to the viewer, implying that they are part of their problem. Both stories also use the world around them as comparisons with the protagonist's fight with the mental illness. Hellblade using the battle between humans and gods, and Mr. Robot using the fight between regular people and a global conglomerate. But how do they stack up to one another? Well, I've not gone as far into this as I could have, as this is just meant to be a quick video, and as much as I'm sure I've made it clear already, how are these two stemmed from the same line of intent? Both of these experiences show a clear interest by their creators to explore and convey the experience of severe mental health issues, with the psychosis Senua suffers and the dissociative personality disorder that Elliot suffers from. Both of these projects are extremely competent and able to convey the experience of these issues in a realistic and compelling manner, with both going above and beyond to make it feel that way. Senua's Sacrifice uses directional audio to make it feel like people are talking around you, and both of these use sustained shots with the protagonist talking directly to the viewer to make it feel like you're really going through this with them. These are both amazing titles, and I think anyone who enjoys well-made media, or media exploring mental illness, should check this out. Maybe Hellblade has a tighter focus on mental health, whereas Mr. Robot mainly focuses on the story, but you get the idea. Anyway, sorry for the abrupt ending. I'm just making this quickly between other things. If you enjoyed this, maybe I'll voice more thoughts like this, and maybe go a bit more in depth next time. But, see ya. I haven't made a new outro since I changed my channel's username, so I'm just going to read a poem by William Blake. A Poison Tree. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe, I told it not my wrath to grow, and I watered it in fears, night and morning with my tears, and I sunned it with my smiles, and with soft deceitful wiles, and it grew both day and night, till it bore an apple bright, and my foe beheld it shine, and he knew that it was mine, and into my garden stole, when the night veiled the pole. In the morning, glad I